Please share, subscribe, hit that like button for me. And we got to go on and dive into this video. Now, how the U.S. military became a joke. Now, let's dive into this, y'all. Because how the United States of America becoming weak and how your president, Donald Trump, deposit their own little brother Israel on foreign soil. See, Israel, America had no desire. And you're going to find out the Middle East, that war between Israel and Gaza will be the Palestinian land. Because America no longer have power to exercise authority in the Middle East. She losing out her power. And this is going to mean plenty of bloodshed. Now, what you need to know, that Iran used missiles. The U.S. braced for a cyber attack that can be coming to the United States. Now, hospitals, waters, dams, and power plants across the U.S. are on alert for any potential Iranians cyber attacks and retaliation for U.S. airstrikes on Iran nuclear sites over the weekend. The United States dropped massive bombs on 3 nuclear sites inside Iran on Saturday, decisively entering into a conflict with the country. I keep telling y'all, we can't ill afford go to war. Why would Trump stick his nose somewhere that we can't go to war? Let's go. According to reports, in the 3-day since the U.S. strikes, the U.S. power grid cyber threats sharing centers has monitored the dark web for Iranians' activities and hospitals. Executives have checked in on the threat level with the FBI, source familiar with those conversations told CNN. In a state, according to reports, dictated by common sense for Iran, retaliation against the U.S. is far easier than cyberspace, than physically. According to reports, the linked hackers have previously attacked American hospitals and water facilities. It says Iran retaliation is already in motion. An additional dimension to that may not be far beyond. So it says Adam Myers, a senior vice president at cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike, told CNN on Monday shortly after Iran fired missiles towards a U.S. military base in a retaliation for the U.S. strikes. The cyber elements is what led them attempt to reach an era a deniability to it. Said there haven't been any news confirmed by the U.S. organizations from the Iranians hackers, Adams says. But hackers linked with Iran has reportedly been scanning the internet for vulnerable softwares and have been talking openly about retaliating against U.S. organizations. He says, hours after the Iranians' missile strikes, President Donald Trump announced a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. But it remains unclear Monday night and the U.S. early Tuesday morning in the Middle East whether the fragile would hold. So it says before the announcement of the ceasefire, Department of Homeland Security Intelligence analysis has warned about a long-running threat from Iran could target American government officials if Iranian leaders believe the stabilities or survivabilities is at risk, according to the Department of Homeland Security bulletin for Sunday obtained by CNN. But less planning may be needed for any Iranians response, and cyberspace and hacking operations can also be far below the dire hole of war has been the opportunistic in the past about finding the vulnerable U.S. critical infrastructures to a split according to U.S. officials. If it's there any vulnerable, they have a higher likelihood of targeting it. One U.S. official says, who was monitoring potential Iranian hacking threats to a critical infrastructure, said on Monday. So CNN had requested comments from Iran's mission to the United Nations. So after Israel-Gaza war begins in fall of 2023, there was multiple cyber attacks on U.S. water facilities that American officials blamed on Iran Islamic Revolutionary, Guard Corps. In one instant, pro-Iran hackers internet-connected industrial equipment that was setting online on water plants outside of Pittsburgh, forcing the plants to operate one of its pump stations manually. The hacker inscribed an anti-Israel message on the monitor that they have. Now, the cybersecurity and infrastructure securities agencies, a part of DHS, is actively coordinating with governments, industry, and international partners to share an actionable intelligence and strengthen collective defense. The CISA spokesperson McCarthy said in a statement to CNN on Monday night, there are currently no specific credible threats against the homelands. Right now, U.S. officials and corporate executives are keeping a close eye on that same groups of hackers and other so-called. So it says these hackers often are on a move for success to gain a psychological edge over their targets. One of the alleged Iranians previously contacted American reporters, including this one, and attempts to convince them to promote their cyber attacks. Did I tell you guys that cyber attacks will come in the U.S., y'all? They planning this already. So it says, according to reports, it says the low-level cyber attacks against U.S. internets by pro-Iranians. So it says here, the Iranian cyber attacks have been played for attention as well as impact. So it says, according to reports, it says the National Security Advisor for Cyber or Emerging Technology under President Joe Biden. So it says some cybersecurity executives are trying to flip the script on those mind games by preaching without overhyping the threats. So it says we understand for direct communications with the federal governments that's heightened it up can cause confusion in our nation. So according to reports, it says now former FBI officials who is now the national advisors for a cybersecurity and risks at the American Hospital Association. The association, he says, is close coordination with the FBI regarding any physical or cyber threats to hospitals and the border of healthcare. Iran cyber, capabilities are not as advanced as those of China or Russia. Esper says, but they can be more unpredictable. I'm going to tell y'all something, man. That's because they say Iran cyber attack may not be a threat to the U.S., but if this war keeps escalating the way it is, if America, United States keep sticking their nose in other people's affairs, now, with the help of Russia, because remember now, Vladimir Putin, he met with prime ministers, regarding how the U.S. went into Iran facilities and used airstrikes, regarding a nuclear program. So, you guys, I'm telling you, if trying to get in, you see China's cyber attacks. With that being said, Russia. Let me go back because Russia would get in, and then in order for America to fight with Russia, then you got China. So any one of these two, China, Russia, they use cyber attacks on the United States. It can cause a lot of harm on our infrastructure. It can bring our grid down. It can, knock out our internet where we don't have access. We don't have no access to communication. You gotta understand, man, Russia and China, if they use cyber attacks, see, America's now worrying about Iran cyber attacks. But you better start worrying if Russia or China comes and use cyber attacks. So let's go. It says, according to report, it says now, Esper says, but they can be more unpredictable. Now, the FBI blamed a cyber attack on Boston Children's Hospitals in 2021 and for creating a website in 2020 that threatened U.S. election officials with bull eyes over photos of their faces. So Iran growing expertise and a willingness to conduct aggressive cyber operations make a major threat to the security of the U.S. networks and data. The Office of Directors of the National Intelligence says in its threat assessments in March guide from Iranian leaders. So it says, according to a report, the cyber actors to become more aggressive and develop a capabilities to conduct cyber attacks, y'all. Now, let's talk about how the U.S. military had become a joke. How Trump deployed 20,000 military troops to go into Los Angeles. Such a disgrace, y'all. But he's not going to allow. He's not going to allow troops. In other words, Trump is retreating troops to come out of Israel, to retrieve, because look, y'all, the United States of America cannot go to war. So I want to talk to you guys and lay this out for you guys, because y'all need to know the destruction and fall, because how the government failed you, and how the United States of America failed you, and how the U.S. military become a joke today. Let's talk about this destruction and fall of the world that we have known is now, without a doubt, in process. See, when we refer to the world, we are referring to the world of this white man. See, for the world of the black man have yet to come in. So the world of the black man, by divine guidance, is now merging in on the old world of this white race. This makes the destruction and fall of the world of the white man. Here in America, we cannot see nothing but this fall of America. See, it's no secret to us. It is obvious to the eyes that are open today. Now, if we want to close our eyes and minds and claim that we do not see and understand, then we'll be falling ourselves. This refuse to see is foolhardily, regardless to how we may desire to see the old world stand. We do not have the power to starve off the destruction that caused the world of the white man to fall. The destruction and power that is bringing about the fall of the world of the white man is coming from Allah, God. You see, in his past history of the world of this white man, there was never a time of destruction of his world like the present time. It is useless, my brothers and sisters, for you to try to prevent the fall of this white man's world. See, there is no checking it. See, the right race has not tried to do the right thing, justice. The doing of justice would have checked her fall. The Bible, Jeremiah, but America was never willing, and even at this hour, she is not willing to do justice by those who she had mistreated. You see, she had dealt injustice to her black one slave for nearly 500 years that she had been an arrestor. America have constantly burdened the poor black slave with every evil that she can imagine. You see, her evil scientists who have been more and more evil practice have not been able to invent any more evil than that which they have already put out today. See, day and night, my brothers and sisters, without a let up, we see this white man mistreat the poor black slave. And now, since heaven and the God of peace, justice, and freedom and equality has come to the black slave, the white man is trying to make everyone that recognize the truth deviate from it. So the white man says, do not accept it. He makes the black man a hypocrite against his own starvation. So the white man trolls the one who have not as yet accept this truth or their starvation. He promised them that which he will never be able to fulfill. We see America is falling. She is now losing power and authorities that she was enjoying in foreign lands. Her fall is very visible. Wherever her authorities have been exercising, the people are now crying out in one voice, leave us. Leave us, America. Go home to America. The citizens of other countries are telling American citizens to leave us. America no longer have friends. America and England deposit their little brother Israel on foreign soil, the Palestinians, which is Arab land. They deprived the Arabs of their own land and sent them. See, this injustice against the Arabs now causing America the power and authority that she once exercised in the East. Did I tell you that this is causing her power that she had in the Middle East? She's losing that power in the Middle East, and that she can't exercise the authority in that Middle East that once she exercised in the East, and she is on her way out today in the Near East, my brothers and sisters. Whether this means bloodshed and plenty of it. You see, in the Near East, there stand navies which are neither American nor British. They are there to drive America out. See, the skies over there are beginning to thicken with foraging planes carrying deadly weapons, guns, and bombs. They will not be satisfied as long as Israel is in Palestine. See, the boil have come to a bursting point. We are in a troubled world. See, we are in a world that is now erupting. Black man who was once a slave in America, you have a way of escape. See, the way out is now your own terms. It is on the condition that you submit to Allah, God, and come follow me. This is the only way out. I am the door and the keys to your starvation. Reject it and die. We are in a world, my brothers and sisters, that is falling. It will soon be going up in flame. See, in Germany, the Cold War between East and West will soon erupt into a hot war. It will never be settled in peace. See, East and West Germany must and will fight out all the deadly weapons that the war scientists had planted and perfect for the final showdown. You do not have to worry too much about whether or not America come out of Asia. Certainly, America is coming out of Asia. The odds are against her, my brothers and sisters, staying there. But I warn you, my black brothers, my black people here in America, that while she's on her way home, we the black people are standing in this crossfire. The only hope that we have is to fly to our refuge and Allah, God. See, look at what is going on to the south of us today. Look at many hijacks stick up a plane. You see, America's afraid to put the hijack, for she knows that she's going to run into more than she expects. Now, who would have thought that the big power of America would suffer such disgrace in this day and time? See, this is to teach you and me, black brothers, that the great power of America is becoming weak, you see. She is falling. I said, black brothers, join to your own kind. Come follow me, for the world that you and I have known will soon be no more. See, this is the day of America's downfall. See, Allah manifests this fall of white America, his desire to make white America fall as a warning to her brothers in Europe. See, white America and Germany, Allah has taught me, are the most wicked today of the right race. See, the wicked deeds that have been performed and are still being performed by white Americans upon the so-called the slave. You see, they are worse in the annal history, you see. See, they have been clever enough in their wickedness to make the so-called nigger slave love them. See, they are the open enemies and murderers. See, Allah and the personal master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, now judge this American whites and its cause in America fall and total destruction. Egypt under Pharaoh is an example fulfilling the signs and other prophecies of the doom of this people as foretold by the prophet we see from Noah to Jesus. You see, Moses and Jesus are the most outstanding prophets in the history of the Caucasian for 4,000 years, my brothers. Over 4,000 years that the devil been here on the planet. You see, there's been one war right after another. You see, you can't live with these people in peace. See, peace was never in the nature of these white race of people because they had been clever enough in their wickedness to make the so-called nigger slave love them, though they are the open enemies and murderers. See, Allah God and the person Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, now judge the American whites and has caused America fall and total destruction under Pharaoh as an example fulfilling the signs and other prophecies of the doom of these people as foretold by the prophet from Noah to Jesus. See, Moses and Jesus are the most outstanding prophets in the history of these Caucasian people for 4,000 years. There are several others contemporaries, but Moses and Jesus are the major prophets of these white race history. The whole of the civilized world today, as prophesied in Isaiah, is against this white man of America. Allah hates this wicked American whites and threatens to remove them from the face of this earth. Since white America and the white race in general have deceived the entire world of black people and their brethren, brown, red, and yellow, now Allah is causing people to wake up and see today the right race as it really is, the created enemy of the darker people. You see, they seek, police officers to get us killed. See, they don't care about your loyalty because in their hearts there's death against us, a black man in America. So as we see today, there's a general awakening of the darker people and to the knowledge of self and the knowledge of the age-old 6,000-year enemy all over the earth. To the American white race cannot sincerely give the so-called Negro, their slave, a square deal. He only is here to desire to deceive you. So the devil is only here to desire to deceive you. So today, America is trying her best against her will to give the so-called Negro civil rights, which is against the very nature and will of the white race. For the first time since this black man had been here, America falsely offered him social equality in certain parts of this country. The social equality consists mostly of permitting this American black race to mix openly with the white man and his women, the devils. See, the actual idea, however, is to grant the so-called Negro social equality among these lower class of whites. See, this is done, my brothers, so that the scriptures wherein they prophesy that the white man tempts and corrupts the so-called Negro with his women might be fulfilled. God has taught me that the white race was grafted unlike, and being unlike, it is able to attract this black man and black woman, getting them to do all the evil known to this white race. One of the prophets of the Bible prophesies in regard to America as the morning stars aboard upon the mountains. We see a great and strong people set and battle away. This is a setting of the nations for a showdown to determine who live on this earth. The survival is to build a nation of peace to rule the people of the earth forever under the guidance of Almighty God. With the nation setting forth for a final war at this time, see God plead for his people, the inheritors of the earth, the so-called Negro. The so-called Negro is a prey of the white man of America being held firmly in these white man's powers, along with 2 million Indians who must be redeemed at this time, and will be if the so-called Negro turn to his Redeemer. The problem of this American black man is his unwillingness to be separated from his 400-year-old enemy. The problem, therefore, is harder to solve, especially with the enemy trying to fascinate the Negro with his lower class girls and women, arraying them partly nude before the Negro. In every public news media, cheap daily newspaper, magazine, radio, TV, and the Negro is quick to intimidate. See, the problem between these two people, separation, the so-called, so that they may be accepted and respected as equal superior to other nation, must be solved. This is God's promise to the so-called Negro, the lost and found members, the original black nation of the earth. See, this problem was made through the mouth of his prophets, the Bible and Quran, that he would separate us from our enemies and make us the master after this wicked race had been judged and destroyed for his own evil. But as I said, the solving of this problem means the redemption of a Negro is hard to do since he loved his enemy. We see this Bible, Deuteronomy 18:15, Psalms, Isaiah, Matthew, Revelation chapter 14. See, the manifestation of Allah and his judgment between the so-called and enemy of God and the nation of Islam will make the so-called Negro see and know his enemy, himself, his people, his God, and his religion. We hear the statements of black educational, political, and Christian class which express their love for the white man, probably asking to be his brother, if not his brother-in-law. Now, this class wants to make it clear to the world that they really love the white race and not the black race. This means that they want to be right instead of black. The devil has made them hate black. They reject the thought of black ever being a ruler or equal with the ruler. They act boldly from inferiority, not only for themselves, but for their people. They want to observe themselves and their kind, especially the so-called American Negro, and to erase the white people without ending the black race. It is just the opposite with Allah, God, myself, and my followers. We want out completely. We want no claim to kinship with people who by nature are not our kin. We, from Genesis to Revelation in the Bible, and from Surah chapter 2 to Surah 114 of the Holy Quran, by no means are the so-called Negro and the white kin. See, God did not create them brothers, nor did he create them to ever become brothers. You see, one is created enemy against the other. And since the righteous are more powerful than the wicked, Allah, the God of righteousness, set a time of reckoning for the enemy. the white man. See, separation. See, we want separation. See, we want a home on this earth we can call our own. We want to go for self and lead enemy who have been sentenced to death by Allah. Revelation 20:10-14. On the day he was created. See this subject in the Bible and Quran. No one white, black, brown, red, yellow can prove to me by any scriptures of Allah God, sent by one of the prophets of Allah God, that we should not be separate from the right race, and that we should believe and follow the religion dictate, shape, and formed by the right race theologian. See, the so-called Negro masters must be warned, because the coming of God and the judgment of this wicked world is made clear by the prophet saying, of the prophet, the so-called reverends, and a proud intellectual class are doomed to destruction with the enemy if they remain with him, instead of join in to Allah, who love them and will deliver them and the nation of Islam. Because white America, she doesn't love you. She's only here to deceive you. If they love us, then where was the evidence at when they could have given our forefathers our restitution? So I say, the so-called Negro masses must be warned of the great mistake that they make in following the leaderships of those who love and befriend their murderers. See, this would not get them freedom or civil rights. See, white America is falling. Her doom hath come. And none, said the prophet, shall help her in her days of her downfall. Now none shall help her in her days of her downfall. Because white America is wicked beyond your imagination. So who shall help you in your downfall? You see, the people look for friendships from America, but instead America deceived them. So who should help you in your downfall? You see, eat, America. Help yourself to this desert of the earth, which you have prepared for us. See, you eat it now. See, all praise are due to Allah, the Lord of the world. See, as the Bible says, as thou hast done, so shall be done to you. America will reap what they have sown. So in the Bible, God plead with you to fly out of white America and seek refuge in him. Revelation 18:4. So change will change your mind about following a doomed people. You know, if people who hate you, my brothers and sisters, the people that really hate you in your kind, or who call one who teach the truth about them being the haters today. They are the producer of hate of us. See, we are with God, the righteous, now. See, the days of trouble has now come to us from Almighty God, Allah. See, the God who is the real owner of the heavens and earth. So Allah, God, created for himself a heaven. And then he let it out to a forged and right race for them to enjoy themselves in it for a while. See, they have proved unworthy of such glorious creation. And now the God who is the owner of this heaven and earth is ready to take over and rule it for himself. See, never no more will the earth nor the heavens of the earth be let out to none owners. It is such a great wisdom taught to us, and let new creatures right race try their knowledge of mastering that which they were not made to master, which we knew, we made them, that they will not be able to master the original creation for long. For as long as we, the black people, are of the planet, there is no new creatures that can be put in order for ruling, that which we already have, and we are in it. It is such a wise piece of work that have been done. The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the origin of this creation is just. See, there's no comparison anywhere to make. See, there's no such thing that the originators can put the planet aside out of the hole and let someone else take over. See, this race, the right race, has not been successful in ruling according to their will and according to real owner. So the right race have to use the originator materials that he himself has created. There is nothing of which this white man can call himself the creator. So therefore, since the white man continued to make trouble, which by nature he was made to do, we do not see anywhere out trying to live with the white man in peace. See, the nature of the white man is ever causing unrest amongst himself and amongst us too. So the white man just cannot make peace for himself because of his nature. Today, God has decided that we, the black people, cannot get along with this white man in peace, and that the white man must be removed. So the white man wants to remove us, the black people, but in order for this white man to remove the black man, he will have to remove the entire heavens and make the heaven void anything like life. And then from a void, we'll have to just start all over again and create life. For the life in the universe is life that we, the black man, have established. Therefore, to get away from our own life, which was created by the black man, so that a new life would come in, we will have to rid the space of life which belonged to us, the black man. And when the space was with a life that we, the black people, have created, another one had created life of his own making. Now, let's go, y'all. Let's get this show on the way, man.
Overseas. We know the president right now is closely monitoring the situation from the White House. He's set to meet with members of his national security team in the Situation Room, and we've already seen reports of explosions near Doha and Qatar. This comes after the U.S., of course, conducted strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites over the weekend. I want to get right to NBC's chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel in Tel Aviv. Richard, this was expected. It was unclear when it was going to happen, but it appears for right now Iran is retaliating. It was expected, but it was never clear where a strike like this would come. And according to Iranian state media...
Look, she can no longer exercise the Middle East. And see, America's losing power. See, the next move is to retrieve, do what's best, pull the U.S. troops out. Because something, brothers, is going to be worse than what you hearing and what you seeing. I tell you guys, man, when it comes to our military, man, our military is a joke, y'all. Our military is a joke. And I'm going to say it, man. I'm going to say it like this, y'all. We don't have enough draft to go into a war. And I recommend your children not to fight this war. For what? We don't have enough draft. See, when this war gets out, y'all, When China gets in, China got over 200,000 militants compared to our militants. You know, China military makes American military look like child's play, man. America's military is a joke right now, y'all. So I don't see why it was any need for Trump to deploy 2,000 national, you know, militants to go to Los Angeles. But when we have war, when the United States of America is at a war, you know, just notice at some point they're gonna have to retrieve. Iran is not buying that, man. And see, y'all thinking that, well, the cyber attacks from Iran, the Iran threats on cyber attacks. See, the United States don't pay Iran cyber attacks any big deal. But I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. The Prime Minister Vladimir Putin met with other Prime Minister Iran. They know how serious it is. If Russia or China use cyber attacks on a U.S. soil, you know, we talking about internet, electric grid, power plants will be destroyed. The cyber attacks that was put on Iran for Iran to go in the U.S. and I believe it was 2021 and 2020. They went into the U.S. hospital using cyber attacks. They got a I believe a international wide on cyber attacks, how they can plan cyber attacks in the U.S., y'all. You know, and the U.S. for some reason, the United States don't think Iran cyber attacks is a big deal, y'all. But I'm telling y'all, man, they better pay attention that it is a big deal if Russia gets involved and China gets involved. You better pay attention that it will be a big deal. Let's go.
Yeah, and what witnesses are seeing over Doha, that Iran has fired missiles at the Al Udeid military base. It's an air base in Kuwait. According to the Iranians, a statement from the military, 6 missiles were launched at Al Udeid, and witnesses have seen explosions that look like interceptions in the air over Doha. There are also reports of air raid sirens going off in Bahrain and in Kuwait, where there are also U.S. military facilities. The Qatari government, just before this announcement from Iran, and just before explosions were seen in the sky, took the extraordinary step of closing their airspaces, and U.S. nationals and British nationals were told to shelter in place. All of that in just the hours right before this apparent Iranian attack. And then, Richard, we should explain to our viewers, it's unclear what we know at this hour. We are just basically reporting out what we've seen, what we heard, what we believe to be true at this hour right now. The information is still very fluid, but these retaliation strikes have caused injuries before to our American service members. And I'll remind viewers, after the U.S. took out Soleimani, that Iranian commander, Richard, remind our viewers there was that ballistic missile strike on an airbase in Iraq that caused so many injuries. Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you. So I was on.
Let me tell you how serious this war is, man. That this war won't die down. This war will continue to fuel. When the United States used airstrikes to kill Qasem Soleimani, I believe it was one of our Iranians prime leaders. You know, it's called this is gonna cause a global war, y'all. Because one thing when it comes to the United States, y'all, when it comes to America want to, like, in other words, she want to bully herself. If she don't have a way, she want to bully herself. She want to invade people's privacies. She want to use her dictatorship. She want to dictate, do the dictating. And now these foreign nations not buying that, y'all. You're not gonna see. They look at the United States that you're not gonna come here and use your policies on us because your policies don't mean anything to us. I think the United States of America better be careful of how they approach foreign countries, y'all. I think I think they better be very careful on how they approach these foreign, nations, y'all. Because I tell y'all, man, we can be doomed. And just like President Linsky says, y'all got nice oceans, waters, and Russia planning to use a torpedo, a nuclear warhead, to set off a tsunami to wipe out part of the U.S. Y'all better pay attention, man. I just don't think America have enough strength. She's weak in this. Look at our economy. Look at our inflations, and this look at what's going on here. It's like we can't get a break, y'all. But I just want to say something to y'all. A lot of y'all call yourself American citizens and things, and working holics, working hard, here in the United States. But one thing I just want to say, y'all, Trump is not making it easy for American people. You seen as he been in office, he been fueling things and putting, budget costs on things. Come on, man, what's going on, man? What's going on? What Trump is trying to do in this Project 2025, y'all? He been waiting for this moment, y'all. Now, I think that we need to get a petition going and get an impeachment. It's like Al Green was saying. Al Green is another Republican. Sooner or later, you will agree. We need to get a petition going. You know what I mean? Get an impeachment on Trump, because if you really look at his approval ratings with Israel and Gaza, you look at his approval ratings, it's 44%, and that's not good as a president. So meaning that there have been no negotiation regarding ceasefires agreements. He went down the Middle East trying to shake things up, and you see the foreign leaders wasn't buying it, because they see these foreign leaders stick, with their own policies, man. So what that tells me, man, America don't even have power no more in these foreign countries. They don't have the power as they once had in the Middle East. That's why Trump's so frustrated. Trump is pointing fingers at Iran and Israel. He's so frustrated because he don't have the power anymore. The United States of America don't have the power anymore to support Israel. They don't have the power anymore, y'all. They don't have enough power anymore to exercise the Middle East anymore, y'all. Which will be the Palestinians' land. Why you think Trump was trying to send massive troops to set up a mobilization? That's why we at war, y'all. Because Trump could never keep his nose out of other people's affairs, y'all. He was deploying troops to set up a mobilization to get part of Gaza. This as in 2016. He was trying to make the Israelis a bulwark city. Going over there talking about, we just going to go over there and take the oil. I'm going to send the intelligences. How many times Iran been threatened on nuclear weapons and things? How many times when we seen the the Bush administration. Iran, he was saying Iran was using weapons of mass destruction. Come to find out, they wasn't using no weapons of mass destruction. See who blew up the World Trade Center? I'm quite sure they accused the wrong people. You know what I mean? That went into the Trade Center and killed over what 3,000, 4,000 Americans. See, it's these world leaders, y'all. These world leaders that y'all vote for is causing chaos in our world. I say it again, it's your world leaders that you vote for causing chaos, causing these tacities, these cruelties that's happening in America. You ain't never seen brutality like you've seen it before. People protesting, people looting, people you know what I mean, the vandalism that's going on here, the killing that's going on here through our streets, through our cities, through our highways. And when we got President Barack Obama, I was under no illusion that he would change, that he was going to run on black agenda. They was making an example. They were sending police officers to kill young black children from the age of 9 to 14, y'all. That's when we lost Trayvon Martin. The boy went into the store to buy some Skittles. He was eating some Skittles and had a hoodie on. And we see Mr. Zimmerman pursued him. You see? They were showing you and putting in your face, yeah, we rule. So, you know, President Barack Obama wasn't running on no black agenda. They saw him grew from Harvard. See, they seen him, you didn't see him. And see, they saw how very, you know what I mean, articulate he was. He doesn't have a dialogue. He doesn't speak like Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson. See, what do you think of this man? He got fresh ideas, but I was under no illusion, my brothers and sisters, that he wouldn't change black agenda. See, they put it in your face today how they got their policemen. You ever seen the movie The Purge? So they put this in your face, y'all. They're militants. They put this parade in your face, y'all. See, prepare for a new revolutionary. Prepare for a new world order, a new system. Because they put in you guys' face. Now let's go.
On that base shortly after the strike, and after President Trump, during his first administration, killed a top Iranian commander, Qasem Soleimani, who was one of their most notorious, most skilled operators, who had been held responsible for many attacks against the U.S., many attacks against Israel. He was really at the tip of the spear of Iranian special military operations. After President Trump orders his assassination by a drone strike in Iraq, the Iranians responded. They fired, again, ballistic missiles. They hit the Al-Assad base, which is in Iraq, and there were more than 100 injuries. I arrived on the base shortly afterwards, and there were no one was killed in that attack, and President Trump almost ordered a response at the time, but since no one was killed, he pulled back. But I can tell you it was a very close call. There were quite a few soldiers who had a traumatic brain injury because the shock wave, the ballistic missile almost hit a mess hall. Several people only survived because of where they happened to have been standing, and had they been a few feet in other places, they could have lost their lives. In this case, what we know is based on what we've seen. We've seen images of explosions in the sky over Doha. The Qataris have closed the airspace, and the Iranians say they fired these 6 ballistic missiles at the Al Udeid base in Qatar, which is the largest U.S. military installation in the entire Middle East, generally housing about 8,000 troops. It is a massive facility. We should also mention, just geographically speaking, these countries that have now been targeted, that we believe have been targeted by Iran, are much closer than Israel, so those missiles can get there at a much faster pace. I do want to go to Gabe Gutierrez, who's monitoring everything from the White House. Gabe,
I want y'all to keep in mind, man. These European people, they fought in Europe, y'all. They live with this kind of stuff, y'all. They live with bloodshed, y'all. So they come to the United States and just tear up the whole United States, y'all. You know what I mean? They escalate things, y'all. They hype things up, y'all. They're destroying our earth, y'all. Escalating things, y'all. See, we keep it real here, man. We not gonna sugarcoat. We not gonna lie while we here, y'all. These European people that come here to the United States, all they hear is to corrupt. It's to bring chaos, bring confusion on our world. It's to mess our world. So if the judgment is here on these people, who fault it is? Who fault has it been? The people that have been ruling for 8,000 years and caused all the trouble that they caused on this world. And then it's like, you know what I mean? It's like they take God, they take the merciful God and just use God. And God's a merciful God. And whenever America is going to be able to be forgiven, when would America ever repent from her conduct, from her wrongdoing? See, these are things that we need to act, man. Because at the end of the day, should no one feel sympathy? Should no one have sympathy for America? There are some righteous people here. And the reason why God haven't completely destroyed America, because there's some righteous people here. But now God is like, God's have enough now. God have enough. God is telling us, man, to come out of her. Come out of her ways. Depart from America. Because, brothers, if it's going to take that, if they making things hard now, making things unaffordable now, then it's going to take for us to depart from this country. I just want you guys to know, man. Let it marinate for a little bit, man. Let it make sense to you, man. If they taking things from you, if they making things complicated from you, if Trump, all he have to do is sign these executive orders, right? And they cutting down your budget cuts. Most of you may not know what's in the budget cuts, but they talk about it from time to time. Social Security, Medicare, you know what I mean? Housing, you know what I mean? Assistance, food stamps and RIC, Head Start, all these things. And they plan to cut everything. And California, you know what I mean, funding programs. They planning to do all this, y'all. Just ask yourself, what's left for you being a citizen here? If they making things complicated, difficult, if they putting a high cost of living. And don't think for a second if they just come back and bring jobs back, y'all, because they already They already put in your face that they took all the good, high-paying jobs. See, they making it, y'all. They're making it very unaffordable for people. Look, they cutting down immigration. They're knocking them down, y'all. So when you look at Black American people, we're gonna have to probably make up the population. And don't think for a second, y'all think that they're bringing these jobs in. Oh, they got new jobs. First thing people say, they got new jobs. They got these jobs, 17, 18, 19, $20 an hour. Look, y'all, don't be a fool, man. Most of these jobs that they offer you like that, it's gonna be on the temps. You're gonna have to go to temp companies, temp agency. And if you ain't hired on to the company, just think how many people will be hired on the company. Very percentage they're gonna have people hired on into the company. So we can go working for temp agencies and things like that. Know that you're gonna be working. Consider yourself working on the minimum wage, y'all. Some people working on these temp agencies, man, and realize, man, you want to say paycheck to paycheck. We realize that it's gonna take 6, 7, 8 of you being one home. Let's think how hard it's gonna be in America. Ain't no more two people surviving in one home, y'all. It's gonna at least take about 6, 7, or 8 of you living in one home, man. That's what it's gonna take. Because they're really trying to wipe out the whole middle class people and make it where it's not affordable for you to live in the United States, y'all. Where they making people to move. Don't come here if you can't afford to come here. That's what they making it, man. Let's go.
Last information we got is that President Trump is monitoring this inside the Situation Room. What else do we know?
Yes, Tom, there's a lot of activity here at the White House. And just a few moments ago, I spoke with a senior White House official who did tell me the president was in the Situation Room, along with the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and also Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, along with other officials, watching this all unfold. Now, as you were saying, it's still very early in this potential attack, but White House officials are watching this. Now, the president was supposed to have a meeting with his national security staff in the Oval Office, a little unusual. Usually that happens in the White House Situation Room. That was supposed to happen at 1 o'clock. As we understand it, though, the president is still in the Situation Room right now. The senior White House official that I spoke with could not confirm any details of any possible explosions in Qatar. But again, it's still very early. Now, Tom, we should mention that over the last several days and yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security issued a new bulletin, not just concerning Americans abroad, but also Americans here inside the United States, warning of a heightened threat environment. And we also know that according to NBC News reporting, two U.S. officials as well as another person familiar with the matter, that President Trump was warned through an intermediary during his trip to the G7 summit in Canada that if the U.S. were to conduct an airstrike against Iran, that Iran could retaliate by activating sleeper cells within the United States for a potential terrorist attack. Again, that's a...
See, Iran can use sleeper cells on the United States, man. And, you know, this is sad, y'all. It's really sad, y'all. Because we gotta always live in this kind of condition, y'all. And that's why I said, man, what have Americans done in these last centuries, man? And where your future, your freedom, your justice, and your equality, man. We live in a time where it's not even peace anymore. It's not it's not even funny no more, man. We live in a time where things is being taken from you. You've been taken advantage. You've been lied to. You know. We live in a time, man, ain't nothing been given to us anymore, man. So now since we at this time, y'all, we gotta fight. We gotta fight for what's right. We gotta actually fight and stand up for what we believe in. Because like I said, if we don't fight, y'all, and they continue to sweep things under the rug, man, continue to push this gender out, you know what I mean? We in trouble, y'all. If we continue to let them continue to treat us the way that they've been doing, and let and continue to let them get away with what they doing, and we don't stand up and address this stuff. See, I got a lot of YouTubers, man. People be getting on other things on their YouTube, but they don't get on politics, and you know what I mean. They don't get on this political issue, man. But people can talk about everything else they can talk about, but let's get on the important issue. You know what I mean? This the portion. You know what I mean? This is the important issue, because it's only a small portion of us, man, don't understand these political issues and these politics, you know what I mean, issues that we have in here in the United States, man. Let's go.
According to two U.S. officials, that warning coming last week. But as for the latest in this attack, and yes, Tom, I'll send it back to you.
Just stand by for us for a second. We are getting new video in. You can see it on the left hand of your screen there. I'm going to ask the control room to tell me what we're looking at here so our viewers understand what we're looking at. This is Qatar. This is Doha. The skies over Doha earlier tonight. You can see what looks like those flashes in the air. They seem to be coming down. Unclear at this point if those are indeed the missiles being fired from Iran and then the air defense systems intercepting them. We'll know more in the coming minutes. Iran's armed forces has just put out a statement saying they've targeted the Al Udeid air base in Qatar there with a devastating and powerful missile attack. These might be some of those missiles either intercepted in the air or as they're coming down. We're going to learn about that shortly. We're also going to get a check-in with our Courtney QB soon, who's getting up live for us at the Pentagon. Gabe, while I have you, remind our viewers, what did President Trump say in the hours and days after that strike on Saturday night on the nuclear sites in Iran? If Iran were to retaliate, what has President Trump promised?
Well, President Trump, along with administration officials, have promised overwhelming force if Iran were to retaliate against the United States.
Look, y'all. Trump ain't gonna do nothing if Iran retaliate. You know what I mean? It's nothing he can do, man. If the U.S. do anything to Iran, Russia going to step in, y'all. You see the buildup? I want y'all to see the buildup for a second. If Iran decide to go to war on our grounds, eventually Russia gonna get in. Then you got this Cold War between America and Russia. Like I've been saying it. And then you see America fighting with Russia. China gonna step in, man. It's gonna be an all cold collision. If I said America can't be the victory of this universal war, man. She can't be the victorious, man. Now, you know, United States made one World War I, World War II. Now this is a different war. This is not World War I, World War II. Trump wasn't even, it wasn't even Trump's mind to celebrate you know what I mean, when the United States won World War I and II, man. You know, you gotta look, man, because he knows what's at stake. But you feel in the situation, and the things get intense, and you know that America cannot win, because y'all know by divine prophecy America cannot win this war. She's losing, man. And we sitting here, we have to suffer. Because, you know what I mean, these radical decisions world leaders make, man. They make these, you know what I mean, rational decisions, man. They're not making proper decisions. You they're not taking a proper step. They're not taking a proper approach, man. And it's sad. It is sad for our nation, man. And that's why I'm angry, man. Just like now, I'm at a point, man. Let this shit burn down to the last dread. Let America burn. Let it suffer. Because America is cursed, y'all. This country is cursed. And all these other nations is getting stronger, man. America's sitting herself where she's facing a hard rock right now, in a hard place. So America's sitting far. She's gonna stand far, y'all. While all these other nations rise and look at America. I told y'all, man. I'm gonna tell y'all this again. They see America weaken, y'all. They ain't even got to do nothing because America's is cursed, and destruction is coming already on this nation. And these other foreign nations is just getting stronger and stronger as we weaken and weaken, getting weak, y'all. And the minute America it's going to look like a third world country. They rather tell you, well, we running out of FEMA, we run out of medical system, we run out of public assistance. What else they going to tell you? Our insurance companies, you know what I mean? It's no more insurance. You can't even insure your homes. Look, man, what else they going to tell y'all? Get y'all stuff together, man, and get up out of the United States, man, because it's not for you anymore. Whatever happened, this was the land of the free, the land of opportunity, the land where dreams come true. They give you a fabricated lie. This country's been based on lies, always have been. Nothing you hear is truth anymore. So why y'all wasting yourself to vote for presidents, especially we get old presidents, y'all? In the past years, we had old presidents that don't have fresh minds, man. Old presidents, y'all, don't have fresh minds. I tell y'all, when you old, your thinking process is, you can't think straight. You can't. How is it you can be in a, you know what I mean, and speak in a whole for Americans? And how is it we get people vote for old presidents? Just think for a second, y'all. They need our votes for them to run the country. It's pitiful, man. It's pitiful, man. Cause I don't have. Look. Like I told y'all, man. When things start hitting the fan, don't come crying. I'm gonna say I told you so. I'll make another video and tell you. I told you so. Let's go.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who also happens to be the international security advisor, he warned Iran against this. So did the Vice President J.D. Vance. We'll have to.
Look, man. We're gonna end this live, man. For more updates, please stay subscribed to the channel, man. And please keep God in your life. And let nothing move you, man. Because God, if God is for you, who could be against you? Who can separate you from the love of God? So I say this to you. Keep God in your life. And expel the wicked that's amongst you. We out. Peace. So long.